Yeah, this is probably the wrong way to start. But Dr. Kluke, what was the third step? The push of the presence.
Push of the present?
I thought he was talking about the Springbok losing coach. Sorry about that joke. No, in all honesty, I'm totally out of my comfort zone, standing in front of people, and the level of speeches which you guys are talking about amazes me, and the knowledge that you guys have of different things is something that I really would like to catch on to and to try to understand, because my whole life I've never been into the political side of things and how it works and why people think a certain way. And just the three things you said there made me think. First thing is, please excuse my Afrikaans English accent. I'm not great at English. I grew up in the Eastern Cape in Dispatch, where English wasn't spoken often, and then I went to Bloemfontein, where it wasn't the upgrade in English. But yeah, I'll get to the award and the honor of getting it. I'll get to that now, and to Mrs. de Klerk and the whole foundation, and to say thank you, because that's the first thing on my mind when I think about this, is to say thank you. Also a bit embarrassed, because it's definitely not just me. It's a lot of people that makes the Springboks work, that made the change in the Springboks and how we do things. It's certainly not just me. It's a lot of people, and I would like to elaborate a little bit on that. But just to get my mind a little bit off that, I'm just going to tell you an example of how I can run out of bandwidth in English. So this friend of mine, his name was Osturant. He played prop. You can hear it's a very Afrikaans name, Osturant, and we were touring in Australia, and we've been on a 6-week tour in those days. And we haven't had a lot of real steaks, meat, South African steaks. And we get to this one restaurant on the 6th week, the last week of our tour, and the waiter came and she came over there and she says, "What would you like us like?" And we all say, "There's steak on the menu, like a proper steak with fat on it and everything." And we all said steak. And after a while, the lady came back and she said, she just want to know, how would you guys like your steak? You like it medium? And all said, "No, large. We want it large, not medium." So those things happen. So yeah, first thing is when I say thank you for that, I say thank you on behalf of the South African supporters. First of all, I think we don't know what we have in South Africa when it comes to support. Other countries that don't have Pork Friday. They don't have people going to malls or to school grounds or to school halls and fill it up, and Tiger Valley, or get together on a rugby field or watch it together at home. It's unbelievable what the advantage we have as South Africans, and that's not purely by numbers. I talk about passion, and we feel all of that always, and that's what drives the Springboks. There was a time where it was just ourselves driving us, because we were number 6, 7 in the world, and we were, it's difficult to associate with losers, and we quickly understood that if we don't change something, the people won't be proud. The people won't associate with us. They don't feel better, as you rightly say. I do sometimes think we confuse happiness with hope. I think sometimes when we win, it's 60, 70, 80 minutes of happiness, and then when you go home, the people who suffer, who's hungry, or doesn't have a roof over their head, that they was happy for those 80 minutes, but then they're sad again. And then the hope is not for every single person who watched the Springboks play to become a Springbok, because there's only been 900 or something like that in the history of the game. So why do I say that? Because I want to credit SA Rugby. I want to credit the people at SA Rugby. I want to credit the people involved in, not SA Rugby, just the head office. I'm talking about the franchises. I'm talking about, there's on the ground level, scouts and people. And I might quickly explain this, and if you guys can check me on my 30 minutes so I don't go over that. We started in 2013 a program which was called the Elite Players Development Program. And when we started it, we said, but are we going to make this fair? Because we want to change, and we want the whole country to support our rugby teams, our under-20s, our women's team, our sevens, our junior bokke, our SA team, and when the Springboks play. And you can't just support a team when there's two coloured boys on the wing, and everybody says, yeah, it's in their genes. They can just play wing. That's that. And funny enough, when I played in the Eastern Province, played in the Free State and Cheetahs, coached there, and I coached here at the Stormers. When I got to the Stormers in Cape Town, there was a wing called Geo Aplon. Very much like Cheslin Colby, the same type of player. And I said to Cheslin, yeah, but you guys are, like everybody tells you that, you start believing it. It's in your genes, you can just play wing. You guys are all small, you play wing. And I asked Geo, why are most of you guys playing wing? And because the big boys also play wing, the big coloured boys. And he said to me, it's easy, when you give to, if a guy doesn't have the access to infrastructure, if that's the right word, or rugby fields and tackle equipment and tackle bags or whatever, it's two boys coming together there on a piece of grass or in a road, and it's sometimes not even a rugby ball, it's a full socks or something like that, and they use that as a ball. And he said, what do you learn when you play against each other, touch rugby all the time? He says you definitely, I don't know if you can hear me if I'm walking around, he says you're definitely not going to learn how to clean out, or how to jump in a line out, or how to scrum in a maul, or how to steal a ball in a ruck. You're going to learn how to sidestep, how to chip, how to goose walk, how to round a guy, and that's what wings does. So if somebody doesn't come in and help those guys, because their fathers and grandfathers were, the right of them playing for South Africa was taken away. And so they also didn't have the advantage of playing international rugby, playing provincial rugby even, and club rugby was a thing. And so that's where, and the same with our black boys in our team, everybody said, yeah, there isn't really good props there. And then you look at Oxton Chen now and Bongi, and you look at Trevor, and you look at Tooks who's coming through at the Sharks. And the problem was, again, it was the access to knowledge. It was the access to people who, their dads and their uncles who's played maybe provincial and for the Springboks, and they didn't have that. And we started this Elite Players Development Pathway in 2013. I was the high performance manager then, and we wanted to do it as fair as possible, because I think a lot of people think when we talk transformation, it's white out, black in, and transformation in any other country means change. You change something, that's transform, Weet nie of julle weet van 'n skoenlapper hoe hy verander. But it means change. And it became such a nasty word in South Africa, and we said, but how do we do this naturally? And unfortunately, you can't start there at the top at the Springboks in 2013, I'm talking, and just say, guys, we've got a quota system, and I'll get to that now. Because I know my whole coaching philosophy goes around, if a player feels safe in the environment, if you don't embarrass him about something that he can't control, and he can express himself, then we'll have a happy team. But if somebody is nervous to be himself, to take him out of his comfort zone with his character, or to embarrass him with, does he have matric? Can he read on a laptop? Can he talk and write on a whiteboard? You don't have to put people through that. And when we started in 2013, the only thing we did, we said under 15 players, we're going to just create a database of 75 players. Otherwise, 15, 15, 50 until we get to 75. and we have to have 3 in each position. Sorry for the people who doesn't follow rugby, I'm just going to explain this. So if you have a loose set, number 1, there must be 3 number 1s, 3 number 2s, 3 number 3s. But if you have the 3 number 1s and all 3 is white, you go until you have 2 players of color also there. But you don't throw away the 3 white ones, but you have now 5 number 1s. And even in some positions we got to number 7. If you say hookers, we're going to have 3 hookers. Okay, the first one is a player of color. The second one is a white boy. But okay, the third one is also a white boy. Okay, we're going until we have in each position. And in that way, we will not white out, black in. We build a database of players that are now playing for the Springboks. And that was in 2013. And the only thing that we did with those players it wasn't even expensive. It was getting knowledge to them. It was getting mentors to them. It was getting them nutrition. It was moving them sometimes from a school which maybe didn't play rugby to another school, which I don't think is ideal. I think it would be great if we can uplift those schools where they are and not always move them from one to another. And when we talk about that, that what stands there, I'm proud, and it makes me a bit emotional because I feel sad for the fans and the supporters. We play for them and what we produce, and then I get it. But the guys who did the 2013 Elite Players Development Pathway and the guys who signed it off, they were the heroes there. And the people on the ground, the scouts who get the fussies through and get the guys through, that Jaden Hendricks and the boys, and everybody that's playing now. And in that Elite Players Development Group, we don't have quotas where, and I hate that word, and I say that in a way that I think it's embarrassing on both sides. If you think I'm here as a quota, and then the white boy think I'm not playing because there's a quota coming in. And I was so against that. And the moment we started opening up about that in our Springbok team, and we said, but listen, we're going to change. We're going to call it change. And that is how we operate, how we select the team, how we train, how we select the management. It's going to be purely on what you put out and how you get better, how you take ownership. You might not be the best player as you come into the system, but hell, if you've got the potential, we're going to coach the hell out of you until I'll tell you are good enough. And so, first of all, thank you. I mean, what President de Klerk did and what the foundation does, thank you for that. I appreciate that. But it's for everybody out there who's been involved, and that includes the supporters. Just maybe a little bit of where are we in the world? I think the world, I think all of us know the saying now, hulle weet nie wat ons weet nie. And I think one of the speakers spoke about, I don't think other countries has to make the plans which we have to make on the run. I'm not talking rugby, I'm talking the guy who doesn't have food and he sees the lights is out and he puts on an orange bib and he controls it. The traffic there by the traffic light, and even the traffic officers listens to him. He allowed him to run, and he's got a gachi next to him. And as you drive by, you throw out a R5 and the gachi picks it up, and that's how the guy makes money. And we don't have electricity always, and I see maybe in February it's coming again. Is it tonight? Okay, tonight. But I mean, we moan about it, but we get around it. And if that happens I've coached in other countries where everything works, and then sometimes when you get to the rugby field, they also expect everything just to work. And South Africans are not like that. And it makes us a very, very special country that we find a way. And I'm proud almost of that. I don't want our lives to become so easy that You know, we take the township boy and his township tackle, and we incorporate that, you know, the way he do a township tackle, or the private boy that, you know, knows this hell of a game plan, or the normal government school lighty that, you know, he's there off the farm and he doesn't really, he just wants to scrum all the day, you know. So, and I think if we understand, if we take the strength of our diversity, we are unbelievably blessed with different things that we can do. But other countries can't do. They have one or the same, one track mind. They do, oh, we've got great this, great, what's that word there? Or and I'm not nailing them. I lived in islands, wonderful people, wonderful people. Yes, now I must count my words so I don't get it. But they once made a headline that when a swan was killed, it was on the swan, you know, bird. They were looking for the swan for 7 to 10 days. And I was thinking, I don't even know if we have swans in South Africa. But then again, the Irish people are so good. They were so good to me and my family when we were there. It's such a safe place, you know. I never somebody. I missed actually the IASs and the tiri, you know, we understand now. Let them go by, pick up the guys. We're used to that. If you press a hooter there, klein stuurwieletjie, take you to the you know, it's a very controlled system. And I think we envy that. We envy that everything must work, everything was, and I think we must strive towards that. But I also think we must celebrate that we find a way around things and not always be gutful. And when somebody moans you, we chatted as a bunch of players. In the first World Cup, they all said, oh, we must inspire, we must inspire. I said, we're 6 in the world, how can we inspire? You know, well, let's first win. And they agree sort of, but not really, on the Twitter account and Instagram. Say, see, how do you think you're playing? No, lack, I said, no, you're playing swak. Don't believe what they're saying on that Twitter about you. Play. You can ask you. I said, play better. Don't listen to what the people on social. We get like 30 likes and you think you played better. No. And we said we're only going to inspire once people see the main thing, which is our job is coaching hard, working hard, and on that field. Everything for, then the people will be happy. And even still, if you lose, they will still be unhappy. So until you win, and then we might inspire. So Mapimpi came in the Japan World Cup, and he came and he wrote something on his arm. Now, you know, Mapimps, he didn't speak a word English. It's like we just head nodded and when we chatted to each other. He worked me, no. So if it wasn't Swandile stick, I swear there was one stage where I probably would have, I didn't trust Mapimpi. Because he fell and he's in the game against Australia and his knee twisted, and I went to the doctor, ask him what's wrong. And he said, oh, no, and he finished the game, and afterwards I went to Mapimpi and I said, Mapimpi, what's wrong? He said, oh, my knee, and I said, no man, foolishly, stupid. I went to the coaches and I said, I think this boy is and he's loafing. And I'll never forget, Swandile said to me, hi boy, wait. Come with me. And he called in Mapimpi, and they spoke. I couldn't hear what they were saying. But I just saw Toga did it. And he tapped up Mapimpi on, and he said, go. And he said, hey, I think this guy tore his meniscus in his knee. And I felt so bad and went back home, out for 6 months, meniscus tear. But he grinded through the game, didn't go off, and I thought he was. So for us to start understanding and minding each other and just taking a little bit more time, I think it will really take us far. I actually forgot what I was busy saying, but it will come back to me. So the first thing is, it was Mapimpi that wrote on his hand in the World Cup. And it irritates me, sideshows, when we're on the field, because I want us to think about rugby and how we're going to win. And my pimpie had this, and he scored 4 tries, and he kissed that, and I thought, just beautiful tries, but what are you doing, man? Why are you doing that? And he came to me and he said, no, there was a lady that was killed in a post office here in Cape Town. I don't know if you guys can remember that. And he said, no, he played for her. And I thought, okay. And we then went through to the semi-finals. And then the team started saying, krijg sommer 'n bietjie hoendervleis. What's it? A buddy of mine is Afrikaans said, when he gets hoendervleis, he said, I get chicken pox. It's goosebumps, eh? Goosebumps, yeah. And the team started saying, but let's play for South Africa. Because we're in the semi-finals. Even if we lose, we're 4th. We're not 6th. And I said, and the guys started gathering social media stuff, and we got a screen inside the team room. And it's just people sending in messages, and it just got more and more and more. And it was Xhosa and English and Afrikaans and farm boys and a guy sitting there in a village and a young boy who knows all the Springbok teams' names and he pronounced it wrong. And we just went on Friday nights when we were lonely there in Japan, and we just went and watched that screen. And that started the whole thing where we wanted to share and we wanted to play for South Africa. And the boys now still talk. The try line is our home. It's South Africa. You know, the moment anybody gets close to the try line, they get close to South Africa. And by that, I'm not sucking up or trying to be emotional, but it does get emotional. And sometimes you give you everything and you lose, and we understand that people are upset. But I get the feeling South Africans we are starting to understand the players, the media, you guys who watch it. I might not always understand the politicians, but yeah, and we want to say thank you from our side when we get stuff like this. I mean, see us, a guy from when you were small, he didn't have toys, he played with brick. That was his car. In the Spats, he would have put mags on for the breaker. But, you know, and today he's probably the guy who's one of the most well-known players and captains in the world. Now, every boy won't reach that. But I think we can give every guy a fair chance, and not all of them will become Springboks. But I think if we keep on doing projects like that elite player development pathway, where we slowly give them all the tools that they need, and then when they're on top, you know, then it's purely picked on talent. I'm giving you my word. As we pick the team currently in the Springbok team, we don't count numbers. We count talent, and then the team runs out like it runs out. So where are we in the world? We're currently number 1. I think what we must do is stay nice and humble and don't put it out there all the time. And like we do in South Africa, we just, sometimes not quietly, but we just go on with our thing and find a way, because that's our motto in the Springbok team, you know. You can't say no for a plan. You give you opportunity, we decide together on what's our plan on Saturday. It's like a bunch of lions, you know. The one lion can't say, there's not a lack of game plan. I'm not going to hunt like that. Then he's not going to eat. So our principle is we all in, we all eat at the end of the day, we all drink out of the cup, we all celebrate with South Africa. And in our team, we write down the things that bothers us. Culturally, we cater for Muslim, Christian, colored, Indian, Afrikaans, English, and it's difficult to manage, but we just say, as long as what you do, let that not stop the Springbok way of doing things. And the Springbok way of doing things is doing it for the whole of South Africa. And that's what we hope to do, and I think I've got nothing more to say. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all of you that made that decision, and all of you that made this possible. And yeah, hope it continues. Thank you.